Is Dale Herring a criminal at large? So today we're taking a look at the dash cam of Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring, and this is the tail end of his arrest of Gregory Parker on the 29th of March 2021, which is right up here. And this is the Sally Port of the Hamilton County, Tennessee Sheriff in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And first we're gonna watch Trooper Herring take Gregory Parker in to the detention facility here. So let's observe as that goes on.
Times I like to admit, it's always stupid stuff like this, man.
Step up right here and I'll get you a pink truck. Is that the Dodge or 28 Pursuit? Red Chevy or...
So somebody had a Dodge Ram pulled over on 27 right there at the old Johnny Bridge. About 5:30.
Now this is Trooper Herring here, and discussing the day's activities with a miscellaneous Chattanooga police officer hanging around, and they're discussing the arrests of the evening out on 27. And this is interesting because finally, after an hour and 10 minutes of dash cam on this event, we're actually going to hear, well, we'll hear a little more from Trooper Herring about why he arrested Gregory Parker, or as I prefer to call it, probable cause, lawful probable cause. And so we'll hear a little bit about that in this banter as to Trooper Herring's probable cause, and we'll also hear some outright lies about speed. And so we'll want to listen for that, and bear in mind that it is supposed that Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring here is on his oath today. That would be his oath to support the Constitution of the state of Tennessee. I don't know if there's anything in there that says he shouldn't be a liar. But, we might want to take a look at that, because he does seem to be quite the liar. But let's just listen and see.
Could have been me.
About 5:30.
Yeah. This guy, I got right around 6 o'clock. And he refused to stop. But pretty much the same area.
This was Highway 27 when I saw
Yeah,
it.
I've been on 27. I clocked him on 27. And I turned around. And when I caught up to him, he refused to stop. He got off and started heading towards Broad Street. And he finally stopped at a stoplight. I kind of jumped up on there and ran up, broke the window out and got him out of the vehicle. But he seems to be a sovereign citizen, so he doesn't really...
So there we go. He seems to be a sovereign citizen, says Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring. Seems to be. And at this point, we're kind of wondering if this is the reason for the whole thing, because we just can't imagine anybody, especially Greg Parker, doing 91 miles an hour down the hill where he was supposedly clocked. Supposedly. Which we think that is just another lie to try to make up some reason for chasing after him. But we'll take a look at that also. And let's just give a few more seconds to Trooper Herring here to flesh out his story that he's telling. And of course, you know, he wants to make sure he gets us straight and keeps it straight for any hearings later. So let's listen in again.
DUI or just felony evading?
Felony evading for now.
And speeding?
I mean, yeah, a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, I clocked him at 91 and 65. Going through the construction zone, he was at 81 and 45. So, yeah, he's looking at reckless driving as well.
Almost made it.
Felony evading, he says, with speeding and reckless driving. So we've got the dash cam. Let's take a look and see what it reveals, and perhaps we can compare the actual events and the reality to Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring's story. So let's get to that. Now, here we are at the very beginning of the episode on the dash cam, and we're gonna try to keep an eye on this oncoming traffic here going southbound. This would be southbound State Road 27, and this is northbound State Road 27. And in this area here, this is right at the exit, the 127 exit. And that's the one ramp here, and this is the ramp, the other ramp. That's the exit ramp from 27. This is the ramp to get on 27. And we don't see any oncoming traffic yet. But since Trooper Herring is already going at a pretty good clip, I guess he's already seen Gregory Parker going by on the southbound and has decided already that he needs to turn around and chase him down. Or in other words, he's already decided to arrest Gregory Parker. So let's see how this works, because the story is that Gregory Parker is going down here southbound 27 at 91 miles an hour, and Trooper Herring says it was in a 65 mile an hour zone, which this might be. But we're probably only a few hundred yards into it, because on the bridge itself, I believe at this point in time, it might be 55 tops, and maybe 45. But anyway, let's go ahead and take that into consideration, that Trooper Herring has made his decisions based on supposedly that Gregory Parker is driving southbound on 27. Well, yeah. He's already made the determination that Gregory Parker is driving. And he has made the decision or the determination that Gregory Parker is doing 91 miles an hour down this road. So let's take a look. And of course, there's no audio yet. For some reason, that seems to be missing. But let's take a look. The first thing we want to look at in this oncoming traffic is this particular Ford pickup truck with this nice, distinctive, large trailer on the back. And of course, we don't think he's doing anywhere near 91 miles an hour, but so far, the story is that Gregory Parker, somewhere, up this road, going in the other direction, and we're at a few seconds into this, but Gregory Parker is out in front doing 90 miles an hour out in front of this particular truck. So let's take a look and see what we've got once State Trooper Herring has turned around, turned on the lights and the siren, and gets up to at least 90 miles an hour in pursuit. It doesn't, for what we can see now, it doesn't look good to me for Trooper Herring to even have any chance of catching up with a red pickup truck that's doing 91 miles an hour and should be a good 15-20 seconds in front of this truck here with the trailer. So let's take a look and see how that works. And we still have no audio yet, but we are coming down to the turnaround here. So Trooper Herring whips it around to get in pursuit. Well, here's the truck, and of course this is convenient. We can see the speed limit here is 45. So the speed limit where we started probably was about 45. Trooper Herring states that it was 65, and Gregory Parker was doing 91 in that zone. Which already, if we can't seriously doubt this testimony from State Trooper Herring, at this point, I don't know what to say, because he has caught up. He has turned around. He makes a turnaround about 13 seconds into our video, or 30 seconds in. he makes the turnaround. And at, let's see, another 93 seconds after turning around, he is caught up with this truck and trailer that we pointed out that is doing the speed limit of 45. And looks like it was doing the speed limit of 45 when we passed it. But, hey, Trooper Herring's caught up with it. So we could imagine Gregory Parker, if he were doing anywhere close to 91 miles per hour in his red truck, he should be in Georgia by now. Okay? Because we're not very far from Georgia. This is Lookout Mountain right here. And you can check on the map to see how far that is from Georgia. And kind of do the arithmetic yourself if you wanted to. How long would it take me to get to Georgia at 91 miles an hour? But let's see what we come up with now that Trooper Herring has at least gotten this far by going like a maniac in pursuit of the arrest that he has already determined to make. Well, let's see. That's about only 30 seconds. And if you wanted to take notice about the time it takes to go from one side of the Tennessee River to the other side of the Tennessee River, more or less, and 30 seconds later from getting by the Ford pickup truck with the big trailer on the back that was doing about 45. And here we catch up with Gregory Parker, who's nowhere near, well, he's near Georgia. It's still a couple miles away to get to Georgia. But if he had been doing 91 miles an hour, or even close to it, well, I believe he would have been a lot farther down the road than this, so I'm kind of getting a little suspicious as to whether Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring is telling the truth about this at all. I'm wondering if he has any lawful probable cause for this arrest, and I'm wondering if he's on his oath on this day, because it doesn't seem like he is. Doesn't seem like he's even aware that he has an oath. But anyway, let's see what action Gregory Parker takes now that he probably knows, at least, that there's a Tennessee State Trooper behind him with his lights flashing and siren on, doing a high rate of speed. So let's take a look at the first actions Gregory Parker takes, which has been determined by Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring to be evading and reckless driving. Felony evading also. So let's see what that looks like.
It's a red Chevy pickup with ladders on top. Texas tag, Golf, Juliet Papa, 0883, 27 South to 1.
Well, it looks to me like Gregory Parker is just attempting to get out of the way as he goes along the road with the other traffic, who is most of which also trying to get out of the way. And let me see. We just passed that. Oh yeah, this ramp right over here. That's for Martin Luther King. So we're just into Chattanooga on the south side of the Tennessee River, and we're a little closer to Lookout Mountain. But I still think if Gregory Parker had been doing 91 miles an hour, he wouldn't be here next to this exit sign here. He would already be in Georgia. So I think, I don't know. I'm gonna look. We'll look at some more evidence. We'll look at some more evidence, definitely. But so far, I'm kind of questioning what Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring is actually looking at, or anything, because it seems like he might be lying about the events so far. So we'll take a look and what happens from here. And I suppose while we're at it, we can wonder what it is about Gregory Parker and his red pickup truck that causes Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring to think, suspect, or even consider whether or not Gregory Parker is a sovereign citizen. And of course we always wonder just what the hell law is that against? I mean, where they have some law someplace that says the people are not allowed to think of themselves as sovereign? Is that the where is that? Where is that written down? Because most all the law that I've seen in the several states and the federal Constitution would strongly suggest, and many Supreme Court cases strongly suggest, that the people of the several states are sovereign, or they are the sovereignty, or that's where sovereignty lies in this country. So, once again, I'm starting to wonder if Tennessee State Trooper Dale Herring has any knowledge of the oaths that he is sworn to, or even what those oaths or anything is about. So let's keep an eye on this situation and view the rest of the arrest of this suspected, I guess, sovereign citizen.
221, our speeds are 52 miles an hour.
Apparently, Greg would like to just pull into the gas station here, the Raceway gas station, but Herring has this driver coming in the other direction so terrorized that he hits the skids and doesn't know what to do. And so then Greg isn't able to turn left because he doesn't know if this guy is going to get out of his way, get in his way, or just sit there in a state of terror. And that's what happens here.
18 miles an hour at the stoplight.
18 miles an hour. That's really something. And but we'll just go up to on the ride along here to where Trooper Herring jumps out of his car to approach the guy traveling in the red pickup truck.
Hey, get out! Get out of the vehicle! Get out now! Get out of the vehicle now! Get out of the vehicle now!
Assault first and answer questions later apparently seems to be what the policy is, at least on this day, for Tennessee state troopers. And I'm thinking back on this chase, I guess it's being called, and wondering exactly what was the probable cause for this arrest, which that's what this is. This is an arrest. So I'm wondering if there is any probable cause. I don't believe I saw any as I was riding along. How about you?
Ain't gonna run up with us now.
Get out now!
What's the emergency?
Get out of the vehicle now!
What's the emergency?
Get out of the vehicle
What's the
now!
emergency, brother? Put it in park.
Get out of the vehicle
What's the
now!
emergency? Why you jerking on me? What's the
Do you
problem?
have any weapons on you?
What's the
Put
problem,
that cell
bro?
phone down.
What's the emergency, brother?
Get out of the vehicle now.
Emergency. Why you jerking on me? What's the problem?
Do you have any weapons on you?
What's the problem?
Put that cell phone down.
What's the emergency, brother?
Open the door. Open the door.
What is the emergency?
Get out.
I'm trying to. You jerking on my arm. I can't come through
Take
the
the
fucking
seatbelt
door,
out.
brother. I got my arm. I can't.
All right. Get out. Get out. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now.
Why are you fucking doing this to me,
Get
man?
on the ground.
Why are you doing this?
Put your hands behind your back.
What's the emergency? What crime have I committed?
You didn't stop.
I was trying to find a safe place to pull off, brother.
You didn't stop. You passed up plenty.
We can see that Greg Parker is arrested here, but the question is to the officer's authority and whether or not he has lawful probable cause, a practical common sense
I
decision.
got off on the exit. I was coming right here.
221.
Emergency, brother.
Get up. Do you have anything on you?
Oh, just some money.
Your speed was 90 and a 65, and you did not stop. You had plenty of places to stop.
So what's the emergency?
You should have stopped.
Oh, look, a co-conspirator has arrived. The first co-conspirator.
Anybody else around? Thanks. No, just him. Okay. 321. Also, he's a sovereign. 321. Also, he's a sovereign.
You know, I don't believe I have seen any lawful probable cause here for this arrest. How about you? And without that, there is no jurisdiction authority for this arrest. Okay, so today we are at the United States Department of Justice website, which is located, and this particular page is located at this URL right here if you'd like to check it out for yourself, which I suggest is a good idea because it's, say right here, Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under color of law. Now that's, your police, your sheriff, your sheriff's deputies, your highway patrol or state troopers, most of the judges, prosecutors, and everybody else involved with charging you with crimes on behalf of the municipal corporation. That's most of those guys there, acting under color of law, suggesting that there is a law that you have violated, when there really isn't any. And an example of that is when police arrest you, throw you in a cage, and perhaps even rough you up because they have decided and made the determination all on their own that you are what they call a sovereign citizen. As if there's some kind of law that prohibits you from determining who you are. Okay? Which there is not. And it says right there, acts under color of law include acts not only done by federal, state, or local officials within their lawful authority, but also acts done beyond the bounds of that official's lawful authority, which most, and a very great many of those acts, are done outside the bounds of their lawful authority, and that is the whole point, the boundaries of their lawful authority, which you can also state as jurisdiction / authority with regard to you. Okay? And they also need to either answer you when you ask or demand to have an answer of what is their jurisdiction / authority with regard to you, or they acquiesce by not answering, and they by default it is true, and that they don't have any jurisdiction authority for their actions. And of course, the law also states that silence in response to your demand for evidence is or equates with fraud, which is another thing that many of these people are actively doing. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities. Can you imagine that? Some of these people want to deprive you of your immunities. Well, don't really need to carry on about that. Secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, and anybody that wants to look for it can find where their immunities are secured and or protected by the Constitution. The folks getting a paycheck from governing you will never tell you about it, but it is there, and it always has been there. Easy to find, you just need to look. Now, this is an affidavit, and it is particularly an affidavit notice demand for jurisdiction authority information. And it is suggested that since almost all arrests, and in particular traffic arrests, done in our country are without warrant, it is simply assumed by the officer arresting you that you are within his or her jurisdiction or authority. And the fact is that unless there's a warrant and unless you have actually committed a crime that the officer has either observed or has very good reliable testimony / evidence that you're the one that did the crime, your arrest is a false arrest. And that is the mere act of stopping you is a false arrest. And, of course, speeding and such infractions are not arrestable crimes. And if you are not being paid to drive or haul freight and such, you are not a driver. So that means that most traffic arrests are simply bogus in nature and just robbery. And of course, living in our society, you are convinced that you should just run in and send in some money because you did these terrible things. And you're, of course, guilty because some cop says you are. And cops are very much known liars. Police officers, sheriff's deputies, state troopers, they get paid. They get paid to go out and throw a net over you and then write you some citations and turn you loose. And, you're just supposed to mail in some money or show up with some money or a check or something and plead guilty. So this is what you can do to establish that you have been falsely arrested, that you didn't do any crime, and that the police officer, sheriff's deputy, state trooper working for whatever municipal corporation does not by nature have jurisdiction authority over you or with regard to you, unless you have actually done some sort of crime or some property damage or something like that. That is what yields jurisdiction authority over you to a police officer or a state trooper or sheriff's deputy, because they are just citizens from down the block just like you. They don't have any additional authority. And the municipal corporation that pays them can't give them any additional authority. And if you didn't commit a crime or cause some damage to someone, there is no action on your part to give them any authority over you. So, this is how you establish those facts and the facts of the matter, or whatever matter they may have given you a citation for. And also, a citation is a sworn statement just like this. It is supposed to be an affidavit. So, this is how you rebut their affidavit and rebut their presumptions, because they are simply presumptions, and they're mostly lies. So now this affidavit starts out with who you are. You are a natural-born free adult citizen by birth, thus of America and all the several state republics joined as party to the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution, by the way, that they swore an oath to uphold. Okay? Thankfully endowed by our Creator. For many people, that is God. With unalienable rights enumerated in America's founding organic documents, which I have never, with knowingly intelligent acts, waived. And I freely choose to obey all American law and pay all lawful taxes. And it's not your fault that there aren't any lawful taxes, but, hey, if there were, no problem with you saying that you pay them all. In jurisdictions applicable to me for the common good. I stand in proper person with assistance special. Okay? So that's just the opening of it, but that is there, so that is another fact that you can establish with this person, individual, that is making sworn statements against you. Okay? And that's who gets this. And, of course, you can send it care of to whatever police agency they are getting paid by. And up above here, you would have your information. And the 21 days, I recommend 21 days to allow for you to show good faith. 21 days they get to rebut this affidavit with an affidavit of their own if they want to argue with any of the points that you have in here. Statements of fact, sworn statement of fact from you. I also, for myself, you can do the same or choose another Supreme Court case if you'd like. I also like to state that my status is also affirmed by numerous decisions of the United States Supreme Court, such as, and this is Hale versus Hinkle right here, one of my personal favorites, hasn't been overturned since 1906. I mean, there it is, and it's been cited in like 2,500 other cases. Hale versus Hinkle. And it says your rights existed by the law of the land long antecedent. That means long before the organization of the state, and can only be taken from you by due process of law. Now, do you get due process of law from the average cop, sheriff's deputy, state trooper that wants to give you a ticket? No, you don't. Because he doesn't have a warrant, and usually he didn't see you do anything. And if he did actually document the fact that you were going above the speed limit, well, that's not a crime you can be arrested for, because there is no damage to anybody in that, and you were not a driver in the first place. So, there is no authority to arrest you. And of course, they just do it anyway. Now, here we have your bare statement of facts. Just the facts, no opinions, no arguments, just the facts of the matter. Okay? And in this particular matter, number one is that on May 6th at approximately 4:35 a.m., you seized by arrest myself and my property consisting of one automobile and all property contained within from the roadside at East 25th Street. Okay? Then you, the name has been redacted to protect the guilty. You participated in an assault of me and without cause, my permission, or lawful warrant, searched the trunk of my car. You removed from my car my property consisting of my handgun in a lockbox that was in a backpack, taking said property unlawfully. Your actions there and then constitute an unjust kidnapping, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, theft of property upon me. Now, of course, if the police officer, sheriff's deputy, or state trooper, or whatever officer that this is directed to and served upon properly, if they want to argue with that, they have 21 days to rebut it with a affidavit, sworn statement of their own in rebuttal. And of course, this is also a rebuttal to their citation. So if you have a citation, you might want to put some points in there that you are rebutting. And here's the notice part. Please take notice that I hereby demand that you advise me forthwith as to each and every claim of jurisdictional authority, you and or your employer, which in this particular case was the Chattanooga Police Department or the city of Chattanooga, enjoys and or otherwise claims to have, which provides jurisdiction and or authority over me and or my private property. This is to also include, but not limited to, statutory, contract, and or merchant laws. So here's the notice and demand of what do you have exactly? You have some evidence of something? I mean, you've already been arrested and all that. So they have already committed their crimes. So now this is your opportunity to document these things as crimes and to show good faith. And of course, you know, that due process of law, you're giving them an opportunity to rebut. You know, it's the only sporting thing to do. And of course, you want to state that also in order to show good faith and ascertain your jurisdiction authority with respect to me in my proper lawful person and my lawful ownership of private property. I require that you produce the following. It's only fair. And of course, you're doing this on your authority. Your authority, which they claim to override or possess. So, another important thing to bear in mind is that you are doing this on your authority. You want the applicable law or judicial determination that declares that you are a resident of Tennessee, a mere resident. You want to know what they've got in mind for thinking or presuming that you are a mere resident, because you're not, and that you're lawful, or that your lawful activities are subject to any Tennessee statutes. And by that, you're talking about the corporate statutes and everything else that goes with it. Copies of any documentation of contract, agreement, or other lawful obligation on your part that would authorize them to seize you or your property. And should they claim contract law jurisdiction, I do hereby demand to know what contract, including, but not limited to, title, date, witnesses thereto, and all parties thereto, I have knowingly and willingly entered into to provide any such alleged jurisdiction. Also, please take notice that should any contracts currently exist, I do hereby revoke my signature on any and all such contracts and do challenge them. And here's a little case law for them to consider. Silence can only be equated with fraud where there is a legal or moral duty to speak, or where an inquiry left unanswered would be intentionally misleading. Now, if they know that you are incorrect, well, there's a moral duty to fill you in and rebut this affidavit. And if they don't, well, they acquiesce. They agree. Memorandum of points of law. Principle of law, once challenged, a person asserting jurisdiction must prove that jurisdiction to exist as a matter of law. The district court found that there was no diversity of citizenship as between the plaintiff and the defendants, that the court was without jurisdiction, and that the complaint must be dismissed. And then we have this. A plaintiff in the district court must plead the essential jurisdictional facts and must carry throughout the litigation the burden of showing that he or she is properly in court if his allegations of jurisdictional facts are challenged by his adversary in any appropriate manner, and this is an appropriate manner. Make no mistake. He must support them by competent proof, and even where they are not so challenged, the court may insist that the jurisdictional facts be established by a preponderance of evidence, a preponderance, or the case be dismissed. And then we got Basso down here too. Since the courts of the United States are courts of limited jurisdiction, there is a presumption against its existence. City of Lawton, Oklahoma versus Chapman. Thus, the party invoking the federal court's jurisdiction bears the burden of proof. They have the burden of proof, and make no mistake, traffic laws are Federal Department of Transportation statutes that are uniformly enforced in all the 50 so-called states, not the republic states, but the federal and the states practicing cooperative federalism. There are 50 of those, also known as municipal corporations. And then, of course, Higgins versus Levine, which has been cited up above, or has been cited as part of proof of jurisdiction. The law requires proof of jurisdiction to appear on the record of the administrative agency and all administrative proceedings. Okay, the law requires proof. All right? So, there you have it. Please take notice, jurisdiction authority has now been challenged by this and supporting documents. I await your written proof of jurisdiction. Now, what follows this is a notice of default. That means, sorry, you acquiesced. You defaulted. The trial's over. You lost. Now, I make this affidavit available as part of the Crush Your Ticket ebook, Crush Your Traffic Ticket. This is part of it. But you can also obtain this affidavit by itself if you'd like. And it is recommended that you flush this out to everybody involved in your arrest traffic ticket and all of their bosses also. So that's why I'm going over it to this extent, because it is an important piece to making your case. First, to void their case, and now then to make your case for them overstepping the bounds of their lawful authority. And that is a crime. Thank you very much. The Declaration of Independence. And of course, we're looking at a year to 2 years and maybe up to 10 years in stir for these people doing this kind of stuff, which they basically do every day of the week. But I say it's high time that it stopped, and you can put a stop to it. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And now for a word from the sponsor, Crush Your Traffic Ticket, which can provide you with a wealth of information of what to do and how to do it when you get a traffic ticket, so that you can get either the ticket dismissed or to be able to void the ticket even before any court appearance. And also a little bit of information: without damage to persons or property, there is no such thing as a constitutional traffic arrest. Every stop is an arrest, since both words mean the same thing. And this ebook will give you all of the affidavits and notices of default and notice of a void that you'll need for the court. And it is that simple to live free at liberty in a country devoted to that principle, which America is, even though the corporate court will suggest that it's not. And the way to put these people in their places and keep them there, and set up your case and start to build your case for false arrest. And of course there are links to the YouTube channel there, and that's the Buy Now button, which I always suggest that you should hit, which it is much less expensive and more to your benefit to do that, as opposed to hiring an attorney. And there's that URL that'll take you right to that page. And, of course, remember that this is the main sponsor for Crush Your Ticket and False Arrest YouTube channel right there. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.